Hey everybody, this is Isaiah with Online Selling Partner, and I am really excited today to talk you through a true story, how we removed 44 resellers in 6 months. So, I mean, it actually took a lot longer than it would take us today because we've gotten better and better over time with our brand. So I've been selling on Amazon for 10 years now, and I started working with brands, partnering with them exclusively like we do today as a preferred third-party seller in 2018. So that was the first brand, or the first time that I started doing that. So anyway, it's been a great journey so far, and I hope this video shows you a little bit of how to do this with your own brand, or do it with maybe one of your clients' brand if you're an agency or whatever. And so step one, you need full buy-in from your brand's leadership. That is so important because a lot of these brands, they have like 21 resellers and all of everything's going wrong with their brand, and it's really the main reason why Amazon hasn't been cleaned up yet is because no one had the courage in leadership to stand up and say, "Hey, we are going to reduce the resellers down to one." I mean that's a big part of it. And then number two is they feel like maybe they've tried, but it's a really expensive, high cost, or there's a lot of people just selling out of their a trailer, or maybe look at the address and it's a UPS box or whatever, which I totally understand. When I first started on Amazon, I was just one of those random resellers that was leeching off of brands, and so I understand the mentality of how that is. But so number one, you got to convince the brand leadership like this is the way. You might, they don't want to disrupt their distribution relationships. They've had legacy relationships for a long time. They don't. They just don't want to disrupt anything, right? I mean, the hardest thing it is to do is to change. So, because of the risk that comes into that. I mean, and I can get it. I mean, you might have a distributor that you're doing $50 million a year with, and you're telling them, hey, if any of your 3Ps or all your 3Ps can't sell on Amazon, I mean, that's a big step. But ultimately, for the brand, if they're able to do that, they could cut out the distributor, go direct to Amazon, either through their own account or using a preferred 3P seller. Like in our case, that's what these guys did, and they don't have to pay the distributor their margin, and they get more margin for the brand. But also, the number one thing is having control will grant you more sales on Amazon, because you can control the map price. You can which is really important, helps you sell on all channels if you do that, but just controlling the buy box helps you sell more in general, because you can advertise more, you can provide better service to your customers, and all of the above. So anyway, it's really important that you get that buy-in. So that is obviously something difficult to do, but showing the brands case studies and things, I mean, we have stuff that we show them like, hey, here's what other brands have done, and this works, and it grows your sales. We are always talking to leadership, telling them like, hey, you might lose a little bit of sales in the short term, but the long term, you're always going to get better results than having 100 resellers that are not focused on your brand. They might be focused on your brand maybe 1% of the time, or not at all, where if you have just one seller, whoever that is, that they're going to be focused 100% of the time on that brand. So step two, you got to draft legal agreements for the brand and their authorized distributors, and it's very simple. We actually have the templates that we used with we had our lawyer make. So we're telling the brand, hey, if they're selling to anybody that's buying 5 or more, they have this distribution agreement that they're not going to sell on Amazon. And so you just want to make sure that you're like following up with the distributor and saying, hey, are you signed this? and you're having your third-party sellers sign this, which is even better, or something like that. So then contacting the third-party sellers, a lot of people do cease and desist. I found that they're pretty ineffective as a third-party seller myself, unless the only thing that's for a sophisticated seller, they're pretty much going to ignore it unless you actually take legal action or really, really threaten legal action, pretty extreme, more than just a FedEx certified letter. So I think cease and desist have a very low success rate. I find it's way more successful to go directly to the company and say, hey, we're going to submit an IP complaint on Amazon for your brand, and if you don't prove that you're not counterfeit, so send us an invoice. Then when they send you the invoice, you can figure out who they are and where they're getting their products, and maybe you want to leave them on or not, but at least you're getting that information from them. So then step 4, you're gonna identify these rogue sellers and rogue distributors. So again, wrote down here how that we had rogue distributors selling directly to Amazon, and we were trying to figure out, is 1P, right? You can't just email 1P and say where you're getting your products. Or maybe you can, but it doesn't always work for us. So what we did is we just took each box or each product and identified it with a different color sticker that went to each distributor. And so we knew when we were buying from 1P, we'd figure out eventually what brand or what distributor was selling to 1P without authorization. So we got them. Step 5, enroll Amazon Transparency. Very awesome program. Works really well, where you have to sticker every single product with a serialization code that if you don't have that serialized code, you're not going to be selling on Amazon. So absolute awesome program. We've used it with a lot of our brands. It's very, very effective. So again, buy box price up 44%, monthly revenue up by 68%, and then again, your retailers are not worried about having map issues on Amazon, so the retailers are buying more product and everything. So super, super effective strategy, and I highly recommend it to anyone. And so that's why we're giving it away for free, so you can use it yourself, and hopefully this helps you. So any questions, please reach out, obviously, and take a look at our distributor letterhead or templates here, like from our lawyers that we worked with, and the third-party resellers. I found that this is pretty effective, sending this email to a 3P compared to a cease and desist. So I love your comments and just to hear what has worked for you. But this definitely has worked for us, and it's a lot of work, but in the end, it's definitely worth it. So I encourage you to take the big step and start controlling who's selling your product on Amazon.